Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Oh, wait, reticulate the splines. Something amiss. Let's clean up the chat here. The containment hazard assessment team is not visible yet. Come on, you can do it. Technology, I need you to function so I can brief the staff on the hilarious things that are happening within our site today. And hello there, Site 42 staff. Hello, wait, yes, yes, yes. Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 362 days, because the daily stream streak is 3 days from its 1-year anniversary, and the daily stream streak must remain strong. I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next approximately 1 hour and 45-ish minutes for today's office hours. But before we get into the stream subject of the day, which I see in the chat, many of you are very excited about, I can tell, or at least very confused about, I have to start with a little bit of housekeeping. So, first and foremost, Dr. Vera Lovelace, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, 369 Destroyer, Sleepless Dragon, Captain Evil Greasy John, Amber, Philip November, Wozcom, Researcher Last, Creepy Pasta George Harrison, Drowsy, hey Drowsy, it's been a minute, hope you've been doing well. Puppet Boy, Troy, Dr. Wesker, Dean Cass, Dr. Frogman, Blue Phantom, everybody who I have just named, thank you for being here today's stream punctually, and thank you for being members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Mama Koi, The Unknown, Logan, Junior Researcher HLG, Sarah the Flower Child, Steven Universe Fan, and David Mutta. Oh, and Colored Marker System Oliver. It's been a while for you too. Hope you've been doing okay. Everyone whom I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today just for being you. Now, a quick reminder that our stream today is sponsored. Today we are sponsored by our friends over at the scpstore.org, where you can come to my section as a creator to receive such niceties as the Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt, if you wish to get in shape so you don't get caught during the next containment breach. The SCP-1762 Where the Dragons Went, which people seem to have a strange emotional connection to. I don't know why they're so upset. But we have numerous wonderful Site 42 SCP Foundation merchandises for your supporting of the channel and swaggity. So thank you, SCP Store, for supporting the channel. You can reach this at the links Desk is sharing in the chat, or within the SCP Site 42 support beacon pinned in the chat. Now, I'm going to go through today's stream subject real quick, and then I will jump to the general Q&A and the donos that have been sent in for the rest of the stream duration. So, as I said during the intro, everyone, I have been streaming for so close to a year straight. The 1 year anniversary, we have been streaming daily for a year. And sometimes I just don't know what to talk about coming in. Sometimes I have a brilliant idea of what we're going to do, and I have a great discussion or a pop culture reference, some sort of thing I can assign an SCP reason to talk about. Some days, you just come in and you're like, hey, I got nothing, man. No ideas. And so when I do that, I usually look at the SCP database, because when I look at the SCP database, specifically the home page, there's always something going on. You can look at the SCP Foundation homepage, and of course, if you're new, you can check out the guide for newcomers and the frequently asked questions. You can see how to join the wiki here. You can check out all of the featured SCP, featured tale, featured group of interest format, reviewer spotlight. You can check out the site news. The homepage has all sorts of interesting things for you to take a look at to navigate the site. However, today what I did is I just came over to the sidebar and I scrolled down and I said, hey, let's pick a rando. Let's pick a rando and see if I get something fun. And on my first click of picking the group of interest, I was greeted to the tale, hello, I am an eldritch horror. A Serpent's Hand group of interest format. So the denizens of the Wanderer's Library have blessed us with a document today. And on first guess, I was like, oh, well, that is a pretty great intro story. Let's talk about this for a second. Yes, I do agree, Dr. Frogman. Boo, Serpent's Hand. But since we have one of their documents and we like knowledge and research and they don't give them to us they don't give them to us willingly, it's good to take what we get. So, a reminder for those outside that know, the Serpent's Hand are a group of wizards and hippies who live in the Wanderer's Library, a multi-dimensional labyrinth library of all of the knowledge of the multiverse in book form. For those of you who like the smell of pages, they don't do Kindles, is what I hear. And then they also have the mindset that the anomalous is good, actually, and that maybe we should let humanity evolve to its next form in conjunctions with the anomalous, which we at the Foundation think is bad. No. We like things just the way they are, and we're going to maintain normalcy so the human race stays human. And those snake hippies can just be snake hippies in their own library. But, as I said, a document of theirs falls into our hands. We want to do some research, see what they're up to, see what they're saying. And so today's document, while our document tale code name for it is Hello, I am an Eldritch Horror, which, reminder, that means that that's the title of the thing we're talking about. I, Dr. Theron Sherman, am not an Eldritch Horror. I mean, look at me. 2 hands, 10 fingers, perfectly normal human, very eldritch, in fact. Very normal. Very non-anomalous. Unless my author decides to be weird that day. There is no canon is a blight upon our universe. Yes, I know you like there is no canon because you get to fuck around. But I'm the one who has to find out. Hate it when he does that. But anyways, pataphysical entities aside, why don't we talk about the document at hand? This document is titled by the Serpent's Hand, I Who Will Be One With All. Subtitle, I, Me, SCP-426, that which has fallen out of God's favor. Excuse me? Okay. So we're talking about me, a toaster that can only be talked about in the first person, but we seem to be giving me some very dire consequences or such. So let's find out what me am all about to the Serpent's Hand. Conspectus. I, who will be one with all, am a thought-based being of great and terrible power. I, footnote, I, who will be one with all, am not actually writing this document. Signed, SC. So there is a serpent by the initials SC who is writing this document for us, channeling me, a toaster who can only speak in the first person. I am able to come between worlds, devouring them, adding them to myself. I do this first by becoming one with all the beings of a world. Footnote, with one exception, see history and associated parties. And then with the fabric of the world itself. I constantly move between worlds once I finish consuming them, but I'm currently jailed by the SCP Foundation. And you're welcome for that, by the way. This is due to my currently inhabiting the easily manageable form of a toaster. For the purpose of protecting the library, ways, and the world I currently inhabit, it is advised that I be left in their custody. It is advised that you let all of the anomalies stay in our custody. I'm just going to add. Thank you. And then the illustration is the thumbnail of the stream if you would like to look at that. The illustration was taken from the 29th tome of the Solar Clockworks. I assume Solar Clockworks is our SC. Knowledge. Traits. I currently hold the form of a toaster. I have a silver finish, and am capable of simultaneously toasting 2 pieces of bread. It is currently unknown why I chose this form, as in the past I have usually chosen to possess beings of great power or prestige. My true self has, to our knowledge, no defined physical form. I and those who have become one with me are recognizable in that we may only be referenced in the first person, and that we can become one with others. A being usually begins to become one with me after about 2 Terran months, and will begin to show the following signs. 0 days after becoming one with me, beings begin to believe that they are my current host. At the present, this means that they will believe that they are a toaster. 7 days. Beings begin to speak, act, and think as one with other beings that have become one with me. They also begin to share knowledge and memories. 10 to 11 days. Beings stop believing that they are my current host, but continue to believe that they are me. 12 to 14 days. We gain my preternatural traits, including the inability to be referred to except in the first person, and the ability to create more instances of ourself. Knowledge section, nature. I, who will be one with all, appear to be a being or force composed of idea and thought. My effects are unfixed and continuously active. I unceasingly seek to become one with the universe I currently inhabit, and once I have completed this, am reincarnated into another universe. This cycle has, to date, repeated endlessly. Other aspects of my nature vary from host to host. I'm currently being contained to some extent by the SCP Foundation. It is advised that library members set aside grudges and aid these efforts when possible. Yeah, snake bitches, do what we want. You're welcome again. History and associated parties. I have become one with no less than 43,515 universes, and all the beings within them. I'm often associated with the writings of beings in these universes, especially later writings. One party in particular is often associated with me, known as that which is separate. Footnote. Ladies and gentle beings, I give you the exception. Signed SC. That which is separate will always reincarnate beside me, and beings which play host to it are the only ones capable of referring to me in the third or second person. When referring to me, that which is separate will often damn me or claim that I am an abomination. In all recorded cases, that which is separate will attempt to slow or stop my spread, either through sealing me away or destroying my host. It is believed that the current which is separate is Professor Johannes Sorts, a jailer. Wow, I haven't heard of Sorts in ages. Hello, Puppy of Interest 42. Are you interested in Eldritch Abominations too? Oh, you're so excited to help us contain Eldritch Abominations. Look at this little creature. Couldn't this creature just capture the most evil Eldritch abomination that wants to absorb all of the universe? Wouldn't Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, be so good at that? Because she's the sweetest pumpkin in the SCP Foundation Site 42. Very good, Charlie. Capture those Eldritch abominations. Your training will soon be complete. You will be a cadet, and you will then become an agent, and you will save us all. Go, baby girl, go! A very good girl. All right. Who is better for annihilating a type green, this puppy or Dr. Clef? Well, first of all, Puppy of Interest 42 is not fully trained in the arts of type green annihilation. So obviously Dr. Clef is still the king of the ring. Also, all of this buildup of that which is separate, I really thought it was going to be Clef. Didn't you also think we were building up to a Clef reveal? Because Clef is, well, all the bad things. Drowsy, Puppy of Interest 42, not Puppy Adventures. Although Puppy Adventures 42 could be the webcomic of the adventures of Charlie, Puppy of Interest 42. So that could be fun too. No, it's like Person of Interest, like POI of the Foundation. But anyways, getting back to our stream subject so I can get to the general Q&A and donos and stuff like that. Where was I? Yes, so Professor Johannes Sorts is the current iteration of that which is separate. So, the Serpent's Hand's approach to me, SCP-426. If possible, attempts should be made to avoid referring to me in order to prevent both the spread of my power and to prevent becoming one with me. Those who have become one with me should be prevented access to the library and the ways in order to prevent my spread. Remember always to guard your thoughts, know that you and I are separate, and that you are not me. Focus specifically on the aspects of your life and nature which make you you, as opposed to being me. Next in their document is the Observations and Stories section. Records of me have been found originating from many of the universes that I have visited. Footnote. More like every single one of them with a writing system. Thanks, SC. I could have assumed that. Most of these stories focus on the chaos that my presence has caused, but a few instead focus on the unity that has been created. The Grimoire of Adidal, authors unknown, is the first known text which presents the theory that I am composed of ideas, and seems to apply sound reasoning as to how this conclusion was reached. This conclusion, however, has not been able to be tested due to a minimum of 2 senses, which appear to have been unique to the writers being used in the analysis. Different universes, different sensory organs, you understand. Art Thou That Damned Beast, by James Stoive, appears to be the only recorded account written about me by that which is separate. The journal chronicles that which is separate's attempts and failures to prevent the destruction of his world by me. It appears to be overall factually accurate, with minor inconsistencies in the events described. The collected properties of Galampt Motivajo depicts me as a being of conquest, claiming that I will conquer exactly 4,368,616 worlds and universes before I am defeated. Due to the 68% success rate of Motivajo's prophecies, this result is to be considered, but only to an extent. Doubt. It is currently unknown how I transfer my effect and how I become one with others. It is currently theorized that it is due to my being composed of thought. Any readers with additional knowledge of how I operate are encouraged to share their findings. Beliefs that I have a wholly negative effect on the worlds that I become one with have recently been called into question. The reasoning behind this is that the universes I have become one with appear to be inaccessible, making speculation the only source of knowledge of the current condition of these universes. In addition to this, the only currently given reasons to suspect me of malicious intent, or nature cannot be verified and come from the accounts of that which is separate, of whom we know little. I encourage lifting the restriction of those who have become one with me on entering the ways in the library. Excluding people based on who they are, what they believe, goes against quite a few of our beliefs and guidelines. I also suggest changing the tone of the description. We really don't know if I have a harmful nature or intentions. Signed, Ichabod V. Sounds like an infectee to me. Yes, it is true that it is usually wrong to stop people from entering the ways in the library based on who they are or what they believe. The exception to that is when what people are or what they believe carries a good risk of destroying the library. As to changing the tone, I'm going to write about I, who will be one with all, exactly what I am. A toaster who is going to eventually destroy my homeworld, which I rather like the way it is. Signed, SC. Footnote, besides, I am a pain in the arse to talk, write, or think about. Amen. So that is the Serpent's Hand document on me, SCP-426, a toaster that can only be spoken about in the first person. Now, as you can see, the Serpent's Hand documentation on me has a whole bunch of intelligence that we at the Foundation don't have. Our SCP-426 document has nothing to say about my taking over universes. But it is a good thing that we got the Serpent's Hand document about me so that we can do more thorough research. I am now going to stop talking about me and move on to the general Q&A. That way I don't give me a headache trying to refer to me and myself. I've had about enough of this. But you can go to the document from the Serpent's Hand, Hello, I am an Eldritch Horror, on the SCP database, at the link in the description of this VOD if you want to go check it out, and or updoot, which I just updooted because I did enjoy this interpretation. I am now returning to the chat. I am refreshing it so I can see what's going on. I am clearing a couple of tabs that I don't need. And I saw a Ko-Fi notification. I'm going to start there so I don't forget those exist. A really dumb person. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a submarine sandwich on your way past the commissary. And thank you for your making the effort to donate to the Ko-Fi, which, as we know, only takes 3% of your donation, whereas a YouTube Super Chat takes 30%. So we appreciate the effort when you make the trip to the Ko-Fi. Why do I hate the Chaos Insurgency? Because they're ridiculous. Because they gallivant around the Mojave pretending to be the Knights of Yore, or did until the Foundation showed them that stupidity and silly guns don't count for much when you're outnumbered 20-1. Just wipe them out, will you? Well, first of all, are you sure you're not mistaking the Chaos Insurgency for Caesar's Legion? Out in the Mojave? Knights of Yore, like the Romans? Are you sure you got your groups of interest in the right situation here? Suffice it to say, we would completely orbital strike the Serpent, not the Serpent's Hand, they're less egregious. We would orbital strike the Chaos Insurgency if we could, but as guerrilla soldiers, they are in underground bunkers spread out so thinly that it's hard to find them all. Very annoying. But yes, you do not need a good reason to hate the CI. Their existence is good enough reason. Drowsy, thank you for your 10 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Apparently, it's ASMR day. Do some ASMR. Speaking of ASMR, do you hear any music today? Do you hear the song? Waiting for the chat delay to see if you hear the song. Yup, it's quiet, but yes. Hey, that is an improvement from the tech issues we've been having. Absolute cinema. Wonderful. So, you want some ASMR? Drowsy? All right, what about some no music? And you saw nothing. You saw nothing twice. You saw nothing. I hope you like pen spinning noises and nothing else. Intern Snowy Shepherd. We are currently 26 minutes into stream, and we will be streaming for approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minutes remaining. Nolly, thank you for sending chili to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will enjoy that spicy meatball. Intern Espic, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure that they will keep it 100 at your urging. Newinny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a lemon spritz on your way past the commissary. Where do you think SCP-008 ranks in the zombie viruses? Well, it's a pretty standard zombie virus. It doesn't do all the cool extra credit things like the T virus, where it makes mutates that go super crazy with strength and such. So I would just say it's a bog standard kind of average zombie virus. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a hot slice of pie on your way past the commissary. This message isn't going to be fun. Oh boy. Been working a lot on top of health stuff. Was told by doctor my insulin resistance at 100. Thankfully, I'm not pre-diabetic yet, so it can be prevented. That's good news. Well, I wish you the best in your health journey. I hope medical, as well as proper diet and exercise, can help you prevent the issues at hand. Best of luck to you. Voidbound, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Blue Phantom, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a saltwater Teffy on your way past the commissary. There's a SCP-72. Oh, die. That's Jay. Behind you, when did it learn to teleport? There is clearly nothing in this very tiny, cramped audiophonics lab. Did the Foundation allow you to dye your hair? Intern Block, I am the site director of Site 42. I set the dress code. You're welcome. Cool Man Fight, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a quiche on the way past the commissary, but only if you're willing to be responsible for it. I got good news for you, Dr. Sherman. I bought a globe for learning the nation's capitals of the world, and the rabbit meatloaf with potatoes is really good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you had a good hearty meal. Take care of yourself. Chasjor, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Also, it's been a minute. Hope you've been doing well. Grab yourself a fruit salad, yummy, yummy, on your way past the commissary. Boss, I recommend we reclassify SCP-999 as Keter. Since you taught to use a gun, I had way too many shootouts with it, trying to prevent a breach. Listen, it's still a slime. It can still only move so fast. Don't give it a gun, and you won't have the problem. No, request denied. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say. How's your desk and Charlie Day? Also, I summoned Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Well, I assume this happened earlier when Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie was summoned earlier. I believe that you did a good job of summoning the Puppy of Interest. Meanwhile, Desk is still in the throes of quitting smoking, so that is a honorable task that we will support their grumpiness in. Obviously, Puppy of Interest 42 is going through fantastic training and is a joyous, happy pup. Charlie 10 Pro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a handful of marshmallows on your way past the commissary. You need to check out what the heck Boneworks is and Bone Lab because the Foundation needs to know. Well, I mean, I'm not the only researcher in the Foundation. Everyone has their specialties and projects. I'm sure someone is covering the Bone Lab's Boneworks scenario. But if you want to give me a primer of where I should start, because I remember that this is a game with a lore to it. So if you want to give me a heads up of what I should be paying attention to in one way or another, that would be appreciated. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say. When Dr. Sherman says he's normal, makes me believe Dr. Sherman is a spider now that can only be unalive by yellow rabbit tweet, and that's why he dislikes them. Your headcanon is the scariest one I've ever heard. That is horrifying. You need to visit the on-site therapist. You're having some freaky deaky thoughts there, my dude. Furthermore, Site 42 staff, congratulations on getting the likes above the viewer count. Because you hit that like button so intrepidly, the YouTube algorithm is being forced to bring us more viewers on this, the week of our 1-year daily stream streak anniversary. And so because of you guys, more people will come in to see the show. They will find out the SCP Foundation exists or that it exists on YouTube. And they will stick with us and enjoy some wonderful SCP goodness and help us to bring bigger SCP projects to people. So thank you for your service, Mobile Task Force Psi-42. Codename, Signal Boosters. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself an ice-cool glass of Melonade on your way past the commissary. SCP-1985 is a woman who teleports to universes in K-class scenarios, and we have seen that even the safest SCPs can cause the end of the world. Well, of course, SCPs that are safe mean they are easy to contain. That does not mean they are not dangerous. We saw how the Procrastination Stone ended a universe, or at least an Earth. So, yeah, do not let anything lull you into a false sense of security. Securing, containing, and protecting is an active and ongoing job at all times. Jace Official, thank you for your 4 months as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. Hey guys, hi everyone, and also hi boss. Well, hello to you too, Jace Official. Dino Enthusiast, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Crazy Gamer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a pastrami on rye on your way past the commissary. Hey, please help, I have fucked up bad on a recent research mission when interacting with a Keter class. I accidentally encountered a time-warping entity. Now I'm stuck in a timeline that feels unfamiliar. Please help. All right, I will forward your case to the Temporal Anomalies Department, and I am sure that the Temporal Anomalies Department will be in touch soon, following the signal from your Ko-Fi to triangulate your location in space and time. I guess that would be quadrangulate rather than triangulate. Yes. They will quadrangulate you, and you will find your way home. Duly sent notice. Chesdior, thank you for donating again to say, boss, I fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now. But what did you do? I need details so we can not have this lead to a large containment breach. Please give me the intel so that we can stop this. Can I work there, bro? Intern businessman. Wait just 1 second. There we go. As I was saying, get me the details of your fuck up so we can unfuck it. Thank you. Yes, and what was I saying? Businessman and Panzer Gaming, yes. If you are seeing this stream, that means you are a member of the SCP Foundation. We broadcast through agreements with Google and YouTube's parent company Alphabet to only use algorithms that transfer this signal to SCP Foundation YouTube accounts. Now, it's possible you have undergone amnestic treatment and do not remember that you were a staff member. You will get your reorientation shortly. You might be a sleeper agent who is just awaking, and in that case, welcome back, agent. Your mission briefing dossier is under your chair. Get to work, and welcome back. Or there is the off chance, very rare, that we are broadcasting this to a broken masquerade universe, in which case this is a PR stream for the Foundation to show that we do know what we're talking about. We are handling world-ending threats all the time, and you should listen to us and enjoy our work. That way, you let us do our job, please. So yes, there is a 95.7% chance that you are an SCP Foundation staff member watching the stream right now. The other 4.3% chance of civilians in broken masquerade universes is, statistically unlikely. Intern Nolly, thank you for sending a press F and a flower and 3 100s to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that they are paying respects with a pretty flower and keeping it triply 100 at your urging. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say, I got even better news for Dr. Sherman. We caught all the Schneiders and the hand spider and its clones and the person making the clones of the hand spider. That is good news, everyone. Very nice. Excellent. Thank you for your hard work. Put them back in containment. Liquidate the ones we don't need. And let's get this all cleaned up. Chasjor, thank you for donating again to say, boss, what class would be cookies from Cookie Run Kingdom if they were in the SCP Foundation facility? So, object class, I assume you mean. I would need to know what abilities the cookies from Cookie Run Kingdom are. What is a Cookie Run Kingdom? They ruled the cookies, bringing in a golden age of peace and prosperity. Wow. Tell me, all right, cookies. Together we cookies can do anything. How touching. Angel cookie, ninja cookie, strawberry cookie, gingerbread, muscle cookie, wizard cookie, beet cookie. Why does that cookie have vegetables in it? Carrot cookie. They'll just make cookies out of anything these days. All right, there's too many cookies. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog cookie. Your question is too vast. It depends on the cookie. It depends on their capabilities. Hashtag not sponsored by Cookie Run Kingdom. Oh, thank you. So, all kinds of cookies, containment procedures. The CCP, not affiliated with the Chinese government. Dean Cass, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a juicy steak on your way past the commissary. Other chat members, confirm Blue Phantom's assertion that my voice and camera are out of sync. Confirm that for me, yay or nay? Meanwhile, Dean Cass, anyone know where I can store an iron and salt line cigar boxes holding the entity that was stalking me? Well, how big is the box? How big is the box? Can it go in a locker? Instead of just saying yes or confirmed, say things like they are synced or they are not synced. I'll give you a camera reset to see if that fixes the issue. Let's see if that did anything for the people who it wasn't synced. Now that I've done that, you might need to refresh your stream as well. So, oh, it's a cigar box, so it's small. It can go in a standard item locker. Although, is it alive? Does it need feeding? Do we need to place it in a humanoid containment cell? How do we feed it if it's locked up? Is there a way to successfully lock it up and still give it feeding so we can keep it alive and research it? Give me more intel on your creature, and I can tell you more about it. Computer Guy, thank you for your 9 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Apparently, I'm an eldritch horror to someone, IRL. Well, I mean, human beings are eldritch horrors to ants. If you elevated an ant to a human being's awareness and knowledge, and then put it back in its ant level of body, yes, it is horrifying. It is horrifying, Puppy of Interest 42, to consider what if your awareness was brought up to a higher being level. That could make things real bad. It could make you go insane in the membrane. It could make you have no mouth and must scream. It's crazy like that. Chat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some biscuits on your way past the commissary. Some bickies. Dr. Sherman, I let SCP-049 out with 10K and the gender swap stone, and a D-class and a car, tee-hee-hee, smile. Security, please intercept SCP-049 on its way to Las Vegas. Thank you. And you are being demoted to D-class. Goodbye. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say. SCP-999 stole someone's car again and got more soda. And someone's trying to give it alcohol. Who knows what it will do? Also, someone asked what the list of approved SCP-999 to be allowed to eat or drink. SCP-999's diet is very clear. Not as in see-through, as in on a list that is easily documented. It gets sugary treats, which it can dissolve down. Now, technically, alcohol is a sugar, in a way, so. And I'm not sure, without a liver, that alcohol would have any enzymatic effect on SCP-999. So, suffice it to say, stick to the guidelines that are right there in the documentation, and we won't have any trouble. As Dr. Frogman says, read the documents, people. Maybe SCP-999 would not have so many behavioral issues. What's your favorite cheese from a scientist's perspective? Intern Quocolot. Utilizing SCP-1600, which is codename the Philosopher's Cheese. It is a chemical compound that when put upon anything, turns it into cheese, which has taste notes of whatever it was. For me, my funniest meta version of this is turning a cheese pizza into cheese. Because then you're eating a cheese with hints of cheese, but also other things. And it's not like the most delicious cheese, but it's just a fun little meta narrative of cheesy goodness. "369 Destroyer, thank you for donating again to say. I meant safe as in harmless, not as in class. Oh, well, again, like the procrastination rock, it is safe in the harmless sense until you misuse it. Anything can be misused for evil, which is why we have to be careful, cautious. And then we put that cheese on a pizza. You're damn right, Puppet Boy. Cheeseception. That's what we're going for here. That's why it's amazing. And I saw a Ko-Fi notification. I don't want to forget that exists. Got to get back to that. Crazy Gamer, thank you for donating again to say. So I made it back home, but I believe I've become an SCP. I don't know. I am kind of scared. So, Crazy Gamer, let me give you a little bit of a calming. Because you just got back, you have not become an SCP. You just become anomalous. You see, to be an SCP, not only do you need to be anomalous, but you need to be categorized as an SCP document with proper special containment procedures. You just got here. No one has researched or contained you yet. But we're gonna. We'll see if you're okay to be free or if we've got to keep you locked up for the safety of the Foundation and everyone involved. So we'll run some testing on your anomalous abilities that you have now gained, and we'll see what happens. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say. I'm already going to head doctor due to the Snyder idea. So I already made 3 of insane, and I refuse to believe you are human. You're a spider. Only 2 arms and 2 legs, not a spider. I don't think we need much more proof than that. Jazzjor, thank you for donating again to say. I fucked up by drinking too sweet honey milk. Do you have digestive distress? Is that how you fuck it up? Well, I guess go to medical? Maybe? Goldenberg, thank you for sending a high cortisol meter to me. I certainly, with the way the Containment Hazard Assessment team is being irresponsible today, must have higher than average cortisol levels. Bryn Sanders, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot cocoa on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say, how would the SCP Foundation use Y-17 from Old World Blues DLC from Fallout New Vegas? And I got a few Yellow Rabbit toys in my room in my bed too. Why? Why are you having an effigy to that thing? Disgusting. Furthermore, I need to look up what that is. It's been a while since I've been to New Vegas. The Y-17 medical facility in Big Mountain. I mean, it's not that complicated. If the Foundation had access to the Y-17 medical laboratory, we would use it for science. We would make scientific research in the scientific research lab. This is an absolute win. Oh, cool. Rad is live. Ah, yes. Radiger, your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber. Radiger does chill vibe body doubling, it seems, streams over on Twitch. If you want to do work with someone rather than do work without someone, Radiger is there with good music vibes. And so if I'm yapping too much and interrupting your work, you can always go chill with Rad. Captain Gilbert, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a... Grab yourself a pudding pop on your way past the commissary. Have you seen Mr. Illustrated's video on 682 and 053 on when day breaks? If you have, do you have any ideas on why 053 is immune to the sunlight's effects? So I have not seen that video of his, although Mr. Illustrated, cool guy, good art, fellow creepy YouTuber, used to be SCP YouTuber, but now has diversified a little bit. But suffice it to say, still good work, and no, I have no idea why 053 would be immune to the sun, because even 682 wasn't immune to the sun in that, I believe. Now, I might say that it has something to do with 053's everyone wants to kill it, and therefore it's maybe some Eldritch Outer thing, because everything becomes an Eldritch Outer thing after a while. If you leave something in a room long enough, it becomes an Eldritch entity. I mean, frickin' today's stream subject, I, a toaster, SCP-426, am an Eldritch entity. It's called power creep, people. It's when you write something, it's just a simple little thing, but then people figure out more ways to be creative with it until it becomes a world ender by necessity. So think about X-Men comics. Oh, Jubilee has firework powers, but actually, the firework powers are splitting atoms. So if Jubilee wanted to and harness her powers, she could nuclear bomb everything. The Scarlet Witch affects probability. No, the Scarlet Witch rewrites reality and is the most powerful ever to ever. Everything gets power creeped. So we just learn to deal with it and build stronger containment procedures along the way. Very frustrating, very costly to the budget. But we do what we do to secure, contain, and protect. Chazyor, thank you for donating again to say, I am not dealing with drunk SCP-999, fuck that. Well, lock 9s in the wing and wait until it calms down. It's a slime, it's just gonna bounce around. Just leave it in there. It'll sober up if the alcohol even worked, which I said probably wouldn't, but I don't know, I haven't tried it. Computer Guy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a... Grab yourself a Frito chili pie on your way past the commissary. No, I meant that some other guy in a live stream I was in, the mere knowledge of how I process information was hurting their brain, hee, psychic damage. Well, did you become an Eldritch anomaly? Or was that other streamer a bit of a dum-dum? You know, brain hurty when words too big and powerful. It's a problem these days, especially with the advent of your chat GPTs causing people to literally not fire their neurons as fast because they're not going through the process of thinking. Have you seen these studies, these real world studies? I'm not joking about this. It's not SCP. They put people who wrote emails or essays or something next to people who had chat GPT write their work, and the brains work less. They are conditioned. The billionaires are pumping so much into AI because they want to condition you to be a dum-dum who just listens to them and does whatever they want. They want you dumb. The AIs are making your brain less work because you are not exercising your brain. Your brain needs exercise like your muscles. They are making you stupid. That is why I non-sponsor drink Dead Billionaire by Liquid Death. Dead Billionaire. Aspirational. Chat, thank you for donating again to say. I got out D-Class and gave SCP-999 20 million gallons of coffee. Now I know you're just making things up. 20 million gallons of coffee in the west wing of Site 42, and no one noticed? I'd believe an Aurora Borealis first. If there were 20 million gallons of coffee over there, I would have been there already. Yeah, you would have been too, because you hang out with me, and that means you steal my coffee, and now you're addicted to caffeine like the rest of us. It's a crime, and you shouldn't have done it, and now you'll suffer with the rest of us, sweetie pumpkin. Maybe you shouldn't steal from the site director. Mm-hmm. Have you learned your lesson? Are you not going to commit crimes? No, obviously you're going to commit more crimes. More flagrant crimes. Clearly. Children these days. All right, I saw a Ko-Fi notification buzz by. Let me double check that. Crazy Gamer, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi again to say. So, interestingly enough, after just getting home, I have gained affection for SCP-096. I don't care. Because I don't care how much you like that thing, we're not letting you near it. No, that's how we get people killed. And in fact, I believe you need to head to medical and be quarantined for whatever this is. How old do you need to be to join the SCP Foundation? Well, SCP Boo, to join the SCP Wiki, i.e. be allowed to join the community and write SCP documents, you must be 18 years of age. However, to join the SCP Foundation as a staff member in-universe, you must be whatever age we decide you need to be when we call you, because you don't call us, we call you. And so that means especially for, I don't know, stocking up on D-Class children that we need for experiments, such as the war orphans, or as we like to call them, the warphans. Those can be any age from like 5 to 15. Depends on what's available in the war that's making the orphans. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say. When do I get out of SCP jail? I have been in for months. When you stop accusing me of being a spider, for one. Dr. Frogman does have a point, yes. Cadets are, at the SCP Foundation, are Foundation staff members from birth. Because when two staff members love each other very much and have a child, we can't have their child out in public school. So no, they have to grow up in the Foundation and go to the Foundation Academy. Lone Claw! Thank you for, I think, your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a nice cup of oolong tea on your way past the commissary. The reason why 053 wasn't affected by when day breaks is the same reason I wasn't. The light of the sun only affects biological entities. Well, okay, when we say 053, Dr. Lovelace, we're talking about SCP-053, not an overseer 053. I can see the confusion. But designation-wise, I do believe SCP-053 is a biological entity. Right? Is there anything in its documentation saying it's not a biological entity? Appears to be a small girl, but we say appears to be for anything. Also, just pointing out, this is pretty hype. This is not sponsored content right now, but I'm shouting out Escape from Site 19, the SCP Foundation board game that kind of bridges the gap between an SCP board game, an SCP escape room, and a SCP tabletop game all in one. And Escape from Site 19 did this wonderful thing giving back to the community where they shelled out all this money to do photo shoots of special effect objects, made up people to make pictures of the SCPs for the cards, and then they donated those photos to the SCP Wiki so they could use them. And so what you see here on 053 is the picture from their photo shoot to make an SCP-053 card for their game. And that's a great photo. And now it's part of the SCP community. So I love it when the people who make SCP merch or SCP content are able to give back to the community in some way. That is wonderful stuff. That's how you like to see it. Oh, right now, live on stream, I am getting a comment heart from Dongendons, SCP animator, because I commented on Dongendons' new SCP-001, Lily's Proposal video, animation. So if you haven't been to the Dongendons YouTube channel, go check out those cool SCP animations. All right, popping back to chat. Okay. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again to say. I meant Y-17 trauma suit. Oh, okay, not the medical facility. Why did they name them the same thing? That's part of your problem, but okay. The medical suit. Trauma override harness. Unique enemy type. So let me get the actual Y-17 medical suit. What is it called? Okay, so it is both the medical suit and it's the enemy. They are combined. I see. So that's what you meant. And so your question was simply, what would we do with that? Is that all? I'm scrolling back to your previous question. Trying to get your exact wording so I can answer it to its most fulfilled setting. By the way, as a time check, people, we are currently approximately 45 minutes from the end of stream. 45-ish minutes from the end of stream. I have to do all this work to go to your channel history so I can see what you actually asked. How would the SCP Foundation use Y-17 from Old World Blues from Fallout New Vegas? So how would we use it? Well, honestly, we would probably try and utilize it as tech to help our mobile task force agents before it brought them back as murder corpses, at which point we would contain the anomaly. This is similar how we attempted to use SCP-018, the infinite bouncing ball. We tried to utilize the rubberized compound that made it infinitely bounceable to create jump boots for our mobile task forces, But of course, they ended up breaking their legs and all that, and it turned out to be not a great idea. So we would attempt to utilize it to help our forces until it turned against us, and then we would contain it and not use it anymore. Radiger! What up, dork? To you right back. We have been graced with Radiger's presence. Speak and she appears. Good to see you, amiga. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say. 999 already sold Dr. George's truck and got out. Well, get it back. I feel like that's common sense. You don't need me to tell you to get it back. Get, go, contain, secure, protect. You know the drill. Battle Blaster, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a slice of meringue on your way past the commissary. Dear Dr. Sherman, messaging from SCP-354 containment site. Filing both a transfer notice and in need of a new head researcher, as our current head went for a swim. From former high researcher help. Well, I know the 354 site is quite stressful, so I can understand the surrender urge, but that's what regular therapeutic appointments are for, so that you don't try to take a dip in the red pool. So let's, we'll work out a new site director for that site, and it will, hopefully go better than this one. You know, there are only so many horrors from beyond that one human being can deal with. Everybody has their limits. Chazyor, thank you for donating again to say. Boss, I would like to report a flood in the West Wing. Looks like 20 million gallons of coffee suddenly materialized. Send help. Just a moment. I need to do some mathematics over here. How much liquid is 20 million gallons, as in filling space? The Google AI, which we have to be very, very, very weak at trusting, says that it could fill 30 Olympic-sized swimming pools, assuming an Olympic-sized swimming pool has 660,000 gallons of water. Otherwise, 60 acres of space. So just assuming that's because I don't want to go any deeper or frequent this robot that's probably wrong, I'm just going to say that would lead to the destruction of our entire site, so you might be exaggerating a little bit. But it is possible someone type greened us a banana equivalent dose by Dado situation of coffee, so you should evacuate that wing and, well, I guess rescue everybody who drowned in burning coffee. It's not great. Please stop doing that. Do you know how much resources it's going to take to replace everything over there? Thanks to your tomfoolery? Stop it. Stop it. Dean Cass, thank you for donating again to say, it fits in a security bank box. Yes, I did realize that after I reread it and saw that it was a cigar box. So now I'm just worried about how easy for it is to escape the box if we open the lid to feed it, so we can keep the entity alive and research it and ask it questions. Chat, thank you for donating again to say, fine, have your money. I'm going to go gamble with 049 USA. You're going in the cell with it when we get back. I will allow 049 to zombify you for your defiance. I hope you enjoy your last minutes of freedom and or life. 369 Destroyer, thank you for donating in to say, you know who wasn't immune to the sun? SCP-343, hashtag fraud. That makes sense to me. Yeah, 343. Not God. Reality bender with delusions of grandeur. And could not reality bend the sunlight away from it. Oopsie. Puppet Boy, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a designer grilled cheese on your way past the commissary. Hey, Doc, at some point in stream, can you read out SCP-8662's file? Read it with my partner last night, and we were losing it. Well, that depends on how long 8662 is. I'm not going to say I'm not worried. This is a little bit long for reading the whole thing on a stream, but I can at least summarize that SCP-8662 is codename The Car Full of Peanut Butter, and pictured is, in fact, a car with a trunk full of peanut butter. Why? A red 2003 Honda Civic with a trunk completely filled with smooth peanut butter. It was discovered in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan after its owner was pulled over by local law enforcement during a routine traffic stop. Foundation agents within the Royal Canadian Mounted Police retrieved 8662 from a civilian impound lot after the owner of the lot reported that 8662-1 had seemed to be multiplying and transported Site 65 for containment. When any volume of 8662-1 is removed from 8662, the remaining -1 will undergo a process of duplication, which continues until it fills the trunk of 8662, nope. Containment chamber Alpha 12, nope. The west wing of Site 65. So what you're saying is that someone's doing this with coffee, and whoever it is, whatever wizard, thaumaturge, creature is doing this, we need to contain it and stop it. I see. Thank you for the very good intel, Puppet Boy. If you're interested in finding out more about why there's peanut butter in the trunk or the west wing of Site 65, ironic that it's the west wing of Site 65 too. This is getting more and more connected. SCP, replicative food anomalies, overthrowing the west wings of multiple SCP sites. We really need to investigate this deeper. Are we allowed to simp over SCPs? SCP Boo? No, you are not. It is against protocol to fraternize with anomalies, and I'm including simping in that situation. Nay, no, do not fraternize with the anomalies. Bad. Intern Dakota, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a poutine on the way past the commissary. I know how to destroy SCP-682. Threaten it with SCP-729. That's great. And it will destroy itself. You're both right and wrong. You're wrong because SCP-682 would not self-terminate. That is not in its nature. But we do know that that thing destroyed completely SCP-682 in such a horrific fashion that we redacted what happened from the document for that thing. So if you read that thing, you can at least see a summary of not the events. But it did happen. Dr. Lovelace, thank you for donating again to say, what would you prefer to experience, when day breaks or the anomalous event in Look Outside? I mean, both of them severely limit your situation because the sun is the vector of infection. But In When Day Breaks, everything touched by the sun becomes a fleshy being that wants to infect everyone. There seems to be more variety in what the entities of Look Outside's scenario become, some of them maintaining intelligence and autonomy. So I feel like you have a better chance of survival in the Look Outside universe. Lord Dragonic, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a bacon pancake, bacon pancake. Commissary gonna give you bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, that's what they're gonna make. Bacon pancakes. On your way past the commissary. Dear Dr. Sherman of Site 42, messaging from the SCP-354 containment site, filing both the transfer notice and a request for a new head of researchers. Our current head went for a swim of their own volition, and the pool is now screaming. Former head of security, send help. Well, that's very much the same situation as you said in your other donation, but with a little more intel. The pool shouldn't be screaming. That's bad. That sounds really bad. That sounds really, really bad. No. You may not transfer because I need you, who has the most knowledge of the situation there on site, to fill in the new site director we're sending to calm the situation down. So unfortunately, I'm denying your transfer until the situation is cleared. Do your duty. Chat, thank you for donating again to say. Well, Dr. Sherman, guess what? Dawnbreaker. Bye now. I do not know that reference, but you are still being demoted to D class. You will not escape the SCP Foundation. We don't answer to the governments of the world. They avoid us because they know what we're capable of. You're gonna get got. Enjoy your last minutes of freedom. Lava Tiger, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Also, been a minute. Hope you've been doing well. Grab yourself a chicken fry and a warm beer on a Friday night on your way past the commissary. Speaking of look outside, what would the SCP class the Visitor as? And how would they try to deal with it? So the Visitor, is that there's a lot of the Visitors. There are a lot of anomalous entities called the Visitor in multiple media properties. So Lava Tiger, I'm going to need you to specify which the Visitor. It's a very vague term. Doomsday Dragon Daishi, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some kimbap on your way past the commissary. What would you do if you were a deity level being from another parallel world trapped here? If I'm stuck here, can I offer my service to the Foundation? Well, what kind of deity-like being are you? How are you trapped? Do you retain any of your godlike strength? Because, I mean, we just talked about at the beginning of the stream. The stream subject is me, SCP-426, a toaster you can only speak about in the first person. But apparently I am also an eldritch being that is overtaken over 4,000 universes. But also I am stuck here as a toaster and can't do all that much. So it really depends on the terms of your being stuck here. Get him. Oh no, I distracted the process. I distracted the play. Now it's pay attention to me time instead of pay attention to Agent Charlemagne time. Yes, okay, I will give you some pets since you asked so nicely. Belly rubs for the baby. Infinite belly rubs. All right. Lava Tiger, thank you for donating again to say, the visitor from the game, look outside. Okay, there is only one visitor, the Eldritch entity outside. Well, okay, because I think the visitor is also the name of the entity in Destiny. There's a lot of visitors, is what I'm saying. But okay, the look outside visitor. See, I haven't played Look Outside, therefore, I did not know that that was its name. So, I mean, the visitor is when day breaks, just slightly modified. And because of that, it's an Apollyon scenario. Most of the population of Earth gone like that. And so, yeah, it would be Apollyon class, and we would just try and survive. That's about all we can do when the entire world is being tanked by a giant, by sunlight. What's the cat's name, Doc? Intern Steven Universe fan. That is Agent Charlemagne. Agent Charlemagne is helping train Puppy of Interest 42 Charlie to become a cadet. Intern DJ Proctor, you're saying, Doctor, I have a question. The problem is, this is the first time I've seen your name, and now that you've said that, I don't know if I'll ever see your name again as the chat continues to scroll. So don't waste your shot, man. Ask your question. I'll answer it if I see it. Doomsday Dragon Daishi, thank you for donating again to say, I can still affect the subconscious world to alter outcomes, and while exhausting, I can actively use second sight. Also, if anomalies do find me, I have access to all powers they tell. To all powers till they are dealt with. Till they are dealt with. Okay. The super chat keyboard is terrible, so I understand that that can be hard to type with sometimes. Well, intern, I'm going to call you Intern Daishi because it's shorter. I'm going to call you Intern 4D. I like Intern 4D. Intern 4D. What I would do is first, we want to run some tests on your abilities. So please refer over to a humanoid containment cell in the south wing. Apparently the west wing is incapacitated at the moment. And we will have a researcher by to run some tests, make sure it's safe for you to interact with anomalies without, I don't know, granting them extra powers or something like that. So we will be by to test your abilities and see how you can best help the Foundation. Lava Tiger, thank you for donating again to say, when you look at the visitor, you transform into a mutant of sorts and lose sanity. But if SCP-096, who we are sure does have sanity. Are we sure 096 has sanity? Did you mean who we are not sure has sanity? That's not apparent to your message. Would he mutate? First of all, SCP-096 is an it, not a he. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. All anomalies are objects, not people. They are classified as its. Please keep proper clinical tone in your way. Furthermore, would it mutate and try to attack the visitor for look at it? So does the visitor have eyes in a traditional sense? Does it have a face? Does it have a consciousness? Or is it more like an eldritch being that doesn't really see in the way that we see? I mean, my first thought is that 096 specifically would not ever deal with the visitor because 096 is locked in a containment cell at the bottom of an SCP site, And as long as we keep it locked down in that box, it's not looking at the sun. And the sun's not looking at it. Or the visitors not looking at it. Lava Tiger, thank you for clarifying that you did mean it does not have sanity. Which, yes. How does the visitor affect animals? Do you know? Does it say in the game lore if the visitor affects animals? Because that could be a step in the right direction of discovering how it would interact with SCP-096. The visitor has some form of perception that looks like a lack of max of cosmic eyes. Okay, intern potion. So that It's very hard to judge how SCP-096 would act in that universe because we'd have to first test if it transforms at all. And if it transforms, does that transform SCP-096's mind state? If it transforms SCP-09, now the probability is that it would affect 096 because it pretty much affects everything in that world in one way or another. So I imagine it would affect 096, and most of the humans in Look Outside, at least from what I can tell, maintain, a range of semblance of personality. So they go from turning into feral monsters to still maintaining their humanity to a point. But 096 doesn't have humanity in the first place, which means no matter what form it took, it would still probably try to kill the visitor. So my question for you becomes, how... If I judge by other eldritch being slaying entities in there, such as the hunters from Bloodborne, it should be feasible that if 096 maintains the ability to get to the visitor after mutation, it could harm the visitor to the point of destroying it. But let's say, for the sake of argument, the mutation for 096 causes it to lose its legs, limbs, become a slug like I have no mouth and I must scream, then it will just be miserable, but it won't be able to do anything. But if 096 can leap and catch the visitor, it could probably dig into it, claw, destroy it from the inside. Interesting hypothetical, to be sure. Dean Cass, thank you for donating again to say. It's a shadow entity, so I'm not exactly sure what it eats. Well, in SCP-1983, the shadow entities spawn from hearts like cracked eggs, but they're not really documented eating. So perhaps it doesn't eat and we can just keep it locked up? We just keep SCP-017, the shadow person, locked in the corner of a room with very bright light shining on it so it can't jump to other shadows. So, yeah, if it's stuck in the box, at least we got that going for us. Just 1 second. I'm going to skip ahead in the donos because Lava Tiger, thank you for your incredibly generous next donation to today's stream. What I want you to do is I want you to head to the commissary and ask them for the penultimate nachos. Now, I say penultimate because the ultimate nachos are fatal. A very good time, I hear, but fatal. But the penultimate nachos, they only make those on special occasions, and today your generosity is one of them. So, head over there, grab yourself the penultimate nachos, and thank you for your generosity. The visitor has many eyes, but one eye is enough to block out our sky. Its own body is the size of a few million solar systems. When it comes to affecting animals, yes, it can affect animals, even dead or inanimate objects. The visitor is a lot. Well, yeah, that's the problem with these Apollyon entities. It's like, all right, the end of the world is here. Just try and scrape together whatever remnants of humanity we have left. Maybe the sun turns everybody into melted creatures, so we just try and get by in the dark. Maybe it's the opposite, where or maybe no, that's the same, actually, where we all had to burrow underground to the point where humanity evolved into mole people so that we could stay away from the light. That way, the alien entities that destroyed light didn't destroy us. or when gravity flipped upside down, so humanity flew into the sky unless they were on the ceiling of a building or something. Suffice it to say, we've dealt with a lot of Apollyon situations, and they're never really a good time for us. Someone asked about the Quiet Rapture from Iron Lung earlier. That's the same thing. What would the Foundation do about the Quiet Rapture? Every habited planet and star disappeared. We have a blood moon, and we have some pockets of space stations left. What do you want us to do? We'll try and reset humanity and research what caused this and stop it, but we're not in a great place. Not in a great place. Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for donating again to say. Dr. Sherman, you need to play Look Outside. Outside of Control, it's probably the most SCP-like non-SCP game out there. I have watched a little bit of Super Eye Patch Wolf play Look Outside, and it did look interesting. Maybe I'll have to pick it up in my gaming times. 369 Destroyer, thank you for donating again to say. I got a new SCP idea I'm excited to develop later. A superhero who is the researcher studying it, a la Parker taking photos of Spider-Man for Jameson. Your explanation for that is going to have to be pretty interesting. Sorry, the puppy wants more belly rubbins. Whiny little baby. Needs all the attention. Sweetie pumpkins, man. Sweetie pumpkins. Yeah, your explanation for how the SCP Foundation doesn't realize that a researcher is researching itself. I am very interested in seeing how you pull that up. I mean, I've never heard of such a concept in the SCP Foundation, although I wouldn't be shocked with over 10,000 SCPs. There is highly possible something like that. Oh no. I mean, in a way, Dr. Christopher Burns from SCP-8980 is that. There are those who believe that Dr. Christopher Burns actually was the tech anomaly that he was blaming on Lillian. Big yikes. Stormfelt, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel bonita. 4D, thank you for donating again to say. Careful, the Lone Claw is a Sphinx. They are parasites of cosmic horrors. I mean, are you saying that mallows are something like this Sphinx thing you're talking about? I've not heard of this concept of a Sphinx. Also, those ultimate nachos sound good. Immortality has its bonuses. Well, we'll see how much immortality helps when you can still, like, feel pain, right? Probably not going to be great. Lava Tiger, thank you for donating again to say. I feel like I should mention, when you talk to the visitor at the end of the game, if you tell it that it is hurting humanity, it shows remorse and never meant to harm humans, merely to observe. It does not know its own power. Well, that's all well and good for it, but look what it still did. So, yeah, I'm glad you feel bad about it, but you already spilled the milk, and now I personally am going to cry over it because I'm annoyed and frustrated. It's been a very stressful day, and all of humanity is mutants now. Intern Ants Montana. That's such a cool Indiana Jones-like name. Ants Montana. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a stack of flapjacks on your way past the commissary. What exactly is SCP-682? The devil, an ancient creature, or a creation of the Scarlet King? Well, there are many that theorize that SCP-682 is a child of the Scarlet King and is therefore a lesser outer eldritch being broadcasting an avatar into our universe, which is why we can't destroy it, because its true form is outside of our universe and its avatar is only being broadcast in. Intern Steven Universe fan, a reminder in our chat that we do our best not to bring up in any way the doctor with the amulet. It's that time of the stream again, everyone. It is against the rules in Site 42 chat to bring up Dr. Bright, because Dr. Bright's author was banned from the SCP community for alleged massive pedo and grooming allegations, and utilize the character of Dr. Bright in those allegations. As in, not only use the Dr. Bright character to have the fame to get more victims for being the famous Dr. Bright writer guy, but also Dr. Bright was depicted in character, lusting over minors in the past. The character is gross. The author is allegedly gross. We are separated from that completely. If you want more information, go to the video, The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright, on this channel for a short overview of the allegations, and go to the description of that video for deeper evidence dives from friend of the channel, Dr. Sumerian. Please be careful with that, Steven Universe fan. Sorry, forgot about that. It's fine, but get used to it. Where was I? Dr. Lovelace, thank you for donating again to... Oh, your author is talking now. Whenever the authors talk, it's never a good thing. They're always just fussing in with our business. Look up Sinks on Google Images. Before I was Dr. Vera Lovelace, I was a Sinks Uwoo. The Uwoos. So on there, we look up a Pachao. Images. Ah, this is what your profile picture is. Okay. A cold-blooded, genderless, parasitic eel from the more distant, stranger areas of the cosmos. Okay. Duly noted. So that's what that chatter was speaking of. Your profile picture. I see. Very impressive. Good to know. Welcome to Harvard. What's up, yo? Intern Natha, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself an omelette du fromage on your way past the commissary. Don't judge me for this question. Oh boy. Steel myself for what's going to be bad news, I'm sure of it. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Here we go. But are SCPs allowed to like each other romantically and be together if they actually help contain each other, stabilize their anomalous behaviors? Would the Foundation allow that? So, we do have a case of that sort of thing existing. It is SCP-3080, codename The Power of Love. SCP-3080 is a pair of Foundation researchers whose relationship became anomalous. Multiple people in their lives set up dramatic soap opera-like scenarios to try and steal one romantic partner from the other. You can see in the containment procedures that when the anomaly was active, SCP-3080-1 and -2 are to be kept in adjacent human-eye containment cells at Site Redacted. They are to be permitted to interact with each other under supervision for 90 minutes each day. So, there you go. That's what we would do in that scenario. Read SCP-3080's documentation for more details. Mobile Task Force Captain Valerie, thank you for your 9 months as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Hey Doc, Captain Valerie here. I just got back from a Comic-Con and got to meet some celebs. Hope you're having a great day. Oh, cool. I hope you met some cool people. Got some autographs, got some cool pictures. Very neat. Site 42 staff, by the by, I just want to let you know we are at a time check of 7 minutes left on stream. We are coming down to the wire, so last questions here. Down with the Foundation, down with the 05. Security, please contain Mr. Fox. Obviously, some sort of re-education is in order. Hey, Dr. Sherman, have you heard of the Wendigo, and are there any SCP similar to this urban legend? Intern Nixora Moon. You want to look into SCP-323. That is codename the Wendigo's Skull. And that is that thing. Gah! I have answered that. Point of order, Site 42 staff. Remember that when you are in chat, there are 1 to 2 blue names. The blue names are the moderators. You want to pay attention to the moderators for several reasons. Reason number 1, they might be saying something funny. They are funny folk. B, they might be answering your simpler questions. That way, I don't have to get to them, or I might not get to them. So if a blue name talks, you should pay attention because your question might be answered by someone knowledgeable. 3, they might be calling you out on breaking a rule. And not seeing a moderator telling you to stop is no excuse for breaking the rules, and you will be banned from the chat if you continue to break rules, whether or not you saw the messages from the moderators. So with that in mind, always pay attention when a blue name talks. Also, reminder, the blue names are not a telephone for getting me to pay attention to messages. So do not ping the moderators to get to me. I will answer questions in my own order. I have a system. Sure, I can't see every question because there's usually 100 or so people in here, but I do my best, and the moderators are not here to help you with that facet of the stream. I'm being told the microphone is having a glitch. I'm going to try and fix that real quick. Or updates to the phone OS or the YouTube app is causing lots of problems these days. I find it frustrating. Intern Bond, thank you for your first and extremely generous donation to today's stream. We are greatly appreciative of your generosity. What I want you to do, instead of just getting a normal commissary snack, is I want you to go to my office and I want you to go into my mini fridge. The password, which I will change after this stream, is Green Apple Fago. The password is, there's a little keyboard, Green Apple Fago, capitalize the first letter of each word. When you go in there, I'm giving you permission to take 1 can, just 1, trust me, it's all you'll need, of Crimson Stag energy drink. With that, you will be able to stay awake for an entire week without need of sleep, without any detrimental effects. You will come out of it feeling right as rain. This is for your generosity. Do good work. Are there any high-level SCP entities, example Apollyon or Thaumiel, that are humanoid, morally good, cooperative with containment, even termination attempts, non-lethal, but could pose an extinction-level threat if pushed emotionally? Well, that's highly specific. So, I don't know that we have a humanoid Apollyon, save 3812, maybe. Is 3812 Apollyon? Either way, it's not the rest of those things. Some iterations of the administrator might be considered that. Desk, do you have any cue on this one? I certainly can't think of an entity that is classified in this manner. Clef? Really, Desk? You're going to go with Clef? Well, let's look at Clef's documentation on the database, I guess. Which document is Clef again? I keep doing the I keep getting the number wrong, Desk. And now my browser's being funky. Okay, I was right the first time. Object class Euclid. So not a polyon or thaumiel. I gotta say, Intern Bon, I cannot think of an entity that fulfills your classifications there. Wait. I could almost say Dr. Lovelace, except the extinction level events are not if pushed emotionally. It's just the moral act that Dr. Lovelace does in the line of her duties. So honestly, I think the closest thing we have to your anomaly that you're looking into is SCP 9471. And that would be, yes, a Ticonderoga level anomaly. So, yeah, I think that's the closest you're going to have is 9471 for what you're looking into there, Researcher Bond. I hope that's a good answer for you. And Site 42 staff, it is at the end of stream today. We have made it for today's longer than usual stream, and I hope you had a good time with it. But it is the end of stream, and at the end of our streams, as a tradition around these parts, I tell you my favorite SCPs. I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote, though. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to The Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over from the links, from the SCP links, you'll find a list of other links. Links that could be very important to people on the Site 42 Containment Hazard Assessment Team, but they never are smart enough to look for them, those sad souls. But the majority of the chat, they are not sad souls, they are smart cookies. So they will find their way to those links. And while they're there, they can become a Site 42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. They can do Ko-Fis or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we appreciate your direct donations. They are the quickest way to keep the lights on here for Site 42's staff, including myself, Desk, and others. So we thank you for your generosity. However, if you do not have the money to donate because you're part of the broke gang, do not fret. We are an arts community. We understand starving artists. Trust me on that. But if you are able to help us by hitting the like button, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just on us, but on the SCP projects we support, whether that be the SCP Wikis, authors, and artists, whether it be the animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, on YouTube or elsewhere, you are helping us to uplift SCP content, which gets more attention, which gets more people who can afford to donate, which gets more ad revenue, and it means we are able to game the system and get bigger and better SCP projects. So we thank you, members of Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codename Signal Boosters, for your service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCB Spooky-J, SCB-5031, SCB-5175, SCB-5320, and SCB-8980. Content warning on the last one. It's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 39993043008 SJ Spooky SJ 503151553088980. Content warning on the last one. It's a rough read. Site 42 staff. This has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. There were forces down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place and such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here. The credit song is Hotel California by the Eagles. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect.